a fighter, a helicopter, and now a passenger jet. Not only will this museum attract scuba divers from around the world, it'll also help in the recovery of natural reefs. The plane also will offer shelter for certain marine life. They can crawl in there and get in the first class.
Oh, an interesting idea. Yeah.
They do that a lot, but I've never seen a passenger jet.
No, make sure you know it's a museum before you.
Be a lot of 911 calls.
Yeah.
There's a jet in the. Okay, that's our time for now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here again tomorrow. News 3 Now at 5 starts right now.
Right now at 5, Madison police are looking for a man accused of burglary and attempted sexual assault. What the victim's friends are saying about that incident.
We're learning new details about what happened before a woman was stabbed to death in Madison. We'll have the very latest.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 5.
And thanks for staying with News 3 Now. An attempted sexual assault and burglary near the UW-Madison campus has Madison police asking for your help tonight.
Our Rose Schmidt spoke with friends of the victim today and shares their message tonight. Rose?
Yes, the victim's friends say it's scary to think that something like this could happen in their building downtown near campus, and they're hoping police catch the man responsible.
As UW-Madison students move into apartments ahead of the start of classes,
you should feel safe in where you live and just around campus on Madison.
Safety is on these sophomores' minds, and for good reason, it seems.
Someone we know in our apartment building woke up at 4 a.m. to a man standing over her with a flashlight in her face and trying to take her pants down.
Caitlin Rosenow and Cameron Jacobson say an unwelcome guest entered their building early Sunday morning on the 600 block of North Francis Street and attempted to sexually assault their friend while she was alone in her apartment.
I normally would have been in the building, but I was just staying at my friend's apartment that night.
Madison police released these surveillance photos of a man they believe is involved and are asking for help in identifying him. Officers say the images are of a Hispanic male in a gray hooded sweatshirt and dark pants.
Supposedly he was in and out of our building. We don't really know.
Caitlin and Cameron say the building is locked from the outside and you can't get in without a key.
Supposedly he was let in by people who live in our apartment. They held the door for him.
The victim had just moved into her apartment and said nothing was taken. Her friends are happy to report she's okay.
We're glad that it wasn't worse than it could, or as it could have been.
And they're sharing a message hoping others can avoid similar situations.
I guess just be aware of who's around you and don't let someone in if you don't know them.
If you know the identity of the man in the surveillance photos, Madison police are asking you to contact the department.
Thank you, Rose. Greenfield police are searching for a motive after a Madison man was stabbed to death in Greenfield. The Greenfield Police Department says it happened around noon yesterday in the area of South 60th Street and West Armour Avenue. Police say the suspect fled after stabbing 49-year-old Ben Christensen of Madison. Christensen would later die of his injuries. Investigators say a 19-year-old man was arrested, and they say there appears to be no connection between Christensen and the suspect. Christensen was an employee at Raymaker & Associates in Sauk City, which is an architecture and engineering firm. They released a statement saying, as an organization, we are devastated and our thoughts go out to his family and loved ones. We are providing access to grief counselors for our employees to help them through this difficult time.
Still no one in custody after the death of a Fitchburg 17-year-old. Shay Watson died from a gunshot wound Sunday night, found at a home on Lyman Lane. Yesterday, Fitchburg police said investigators are following up on tips from the community but have not provided an update yet today.
A teacher in the McFarland School District is in jail tonight.
Police arrested Andrew Meeks yesterday about 2 in the afternoon on multiple counts, including suspicion of child enticement. Amy Reed joins us now to share what we have learned so far. Amy?
That's right. The district attorney has not filed formal charges yet, but police say this arrest follows an intensive investigation into his activities involving a juvenile. Meeks has been tentatively charged with 1 count of child enticement, 1 count of exposing a child to harmful materials, and 1 count of causing mental harm to a child. Those stay tentative until the DA is done reviewing the case. Wabisa Intermediate School lists Meek as a 4th grade teacher. In an email to parents, the school district superintendent said 2 veteran teachers will be taking over the 4th grade classroom. In a statement to us, he said he'll update us on the status of Meek's employment as he can. Right now, he said he doesn't have access to many details as this is an ongoing investigation, but he is cooperating with police to help them find answers.
All right, Amy, thank you very much.
Two lawyers who represented the complainants in the Quintez Cephas case are calling for an investigation into the decision to reverse Cephas's expulsion after he was acquitted of sexual assault charges. The lawyers state that the university's response to reverse Cephas's expulsion undermines the credibility of the entire Title IX system at the UW, and that the message that the university is giving is that students who are victims of sexual violence cannot trust the administration tasked with protecting the safety of all of its students. News 3 has reached out to the university for comment in response to the attorney's statements. We have not yet gotten a response.
Let's get a look at your first alert weather. Meteorologist Dave Caulfield joining us on the weather patio. Dave?
A windy Wednesday across southern Wisconsin, Eric, with wind gusts of about 30 to 40 miles per hour at times. Other than that, it was a nice day. It felt more like fall than late summer, but, you know, we sometimes get these days in late August, but it can bring back the humidity pretty quickly, and I think tomorrow we have a chance of showers and thunderstorms as a cold front comes through. Visible cloud track showing a few clouds north of Madison associated with a low pressure system well north of southern Wisconsin. In Madison, though, we're looking at clear skies, lots of sunshine and blue skies on the WISC-TV Skycam. Currently at 73 degrees at the airport, west wind at 9 miles per hour. That dew point very comfortably in the upper 40s. So right now, still looking at wind gusts of about 20 to 30 miles per hour across much of the area. Temperatures are in the lower to middle 70s for southern Wisconsin, so it's pretty comfortable if you can stand a little bit of a blustery wind outside. As we get into tonight, temperatures dipping into the lower to middle 50s under clear skies. And again, we do have the chance of some showers and thunderstorms. Some of those storms could be strong to severe by tomorrow afternoon. We'll take a look at that possibility in your forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, Dave, thanks. Bond has been set at $1 million for a man accused of killing a woman on Madison's east side last week.
It was Madison's first homicide of 2019. Charlotte Deleste is here with more details on the suspect's initial court appearance. Charlotte.
Well, Susan and Eric, Lou Jefferson is charged with first-degree intentional homicide for the stabbing death of 30-year-old Amanda Woods. A criminal complaint says Woods had left a nearby apartment party and walked to the mobile gas station in the 3000 block of East Wash when she was approached by Jefferson about pooling their money to buy cocaine. The complaint says the two had not met each other before. They then got into an argument over $10 Jefferson had given Woods for the drug buy.
I'm innocent of this. I'm innocent. You got the wrong person, that's what I'm saying.
Understood. And you'll certainly have your day in court. But you are looking at significant potential penalties. There's no getting around the built-in incentive to not show up for that and roll the dice and see what happens in front of a jury.
Jefferson more than once interrupted Court Commissioner Brian Asmus during the proceedings. Bond was set at $1 million at the prosecutor's request because of his lengthy record and past tendency to skip court dates. Jefferson is due back in court on September 5th for his preliminary hearing.
All right, Charlotte, thank you.
A motorcyclist is dead after a crash in Beaver Dam. The Dodge County Sheriff's Office says it happened just before 6 this morning on Kellam Road, north of County Highway B. Deputies say a motorcycle was making a left turn into a business parking lot when it collided with a car. The motorcyclist was taken to a nearby hospital but later died. The driver of the car was not injured. The couple injured in a small plane crash in Greene County yesterday has been identified. The Greene County Sheriff's Office says 66-year-old Luke Van Hurley and 58-year-old Nancy Ibulga Van Hurley, both of Rochester, Minnesota, were flying from Rochester to Chicago when the aircraft sustained mechanical issues. The plane crashed in a cornfield along County Road FF near Monroe. The pair was taken by ambulance to the Monroe Clinic Hospital for treatment of non-life-threatening injuries.
A Madison School Board member is apologizing for comparing police in the Dane County Jail with concentration camps and Nazis. On Saturday, Allie Muldrow made a Facebook post talking about students getting arrested while in school. She said, quote, "We would not talk about the role of Nazis and act as if the experiences people had in concentration camps is a separate issue." In a statement released to News 3 Now today, Muldrow wrote, quote, "I am deeply sorry for the harm it caused people I want nothing more than to be in solidarity with." And you can read more on our website, channel3000.com. WISC-TV.com.
We're getting our first look inside Madison College's new campus. The new 75,000 square foot Goodman South campus is located at the corner of Badger Road and Perry Street. The new campus features a practical nursing lab, a chemistry lab, a cafe area, library, a student achievement center, and community rooms. The $23 million campus was funded by private contributions, as well as a $10 million gift from the Goodman Foundation. The campus officially opens September 3rd.
Back to school means it's time to update those vaccines for your children in elementary and middle school. Our Leah Linscheid and Josh Pryder have more on back to school vaccinations.
New number.
Well, we had some, obviously that video ended a little earlier than we had thought. Up next, we're going to have the very latest on what's happening down in the Caribbean, where Tropical Storm Dorian continues to gain strength. We'll have the very latest on that and how folks in Puerto Rico are preparing for the storm. Quick check of the markets on this Wednesday. The Dow actually added 250 points, but those All right, this is what we were getting at a few minutes ago. This is a live look at St. Croix. Hurricane Dorian has hit the U.S. Virgin Islands just as it reached hurricane force, and forecasters say it could actually grow to a Category 3 hurricane before a likely collision with the U.S. mainland as early as the weekend.
Meanwhile, people in Puerto Rico are still recovering from the devastation of Hurricane Maria 2 years ago. They're preparing for the worst from Dorian, but some who don't trust the government's preparations are leaving. Since Maria, 30,000 homes are still covered with blue tarps and 1,000 roads remain impassable. FEMA says this time around, they are ready.
If you look around just at this warehouse, and now we have 5 where we used to have 1, there's probably 10 times the commodities on the island that were here pre-Maria. So we've spent the last 2 years learning some lessons and making sure that we're much better prepared.
FEMA has brought in 500 extra people for support. Florida sent a search and rescue crew of 45 people to the island to be on standby for rescue operations.
Within the last half hour, New York Senator Kirsten Gillibrand announced she is ending her campaign for president. So far, 10 candidates have qualified for the next Democratic presidential debate. That's based on poll results and fundraising numbers. They're set to take the stage in Houston next month. Joe Biden with a wide lead over his Democratic rivals, the former vice president, 13 points ahead of his closest competitor in a new Morning Consult poll. And he has an 18-point lead in the USA Today Suffolk poll. Senators Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren are second in both polls. In the Quinnipiac poll, Biden beats President Trump by double digits. Senators Sanders, Warren, and Kamala Harris also pull above 50% in a potential matchup against the president.
Pentagon leaders downplayed talk of a full U.S. troop withdrawal from Afghanistan as discussions continue between the U.S. and Taliban negotiators. Secretary of Defense Mark Esper says the situation with Iran is much calmer after tensions ramped up earlier this summer over Iran's seizure of oil tankers.
We are not seeking conflict with Iran. We want to engage with them. I'm not sure I'm ready to call the crisis over yet, but so far so good.
The last time a defense secretary held a news conference at the Pentagon was exactly 1 year ago. That was former Secretary James Mattis, who resigned over policy differences with President Trump.
Purdue Pharma, the company that developed OxyContin, is reportedly ready to settle about 2,000 lawsuits for its role in the crisis. A government source with knowledge of the negotiations says Purdue Pharma is prepared to pay out between $5 and $6 billion. Purdue Pharma released a statement saying it is prepared to defend itself in court, but, quote, the company has made clear that it sees little good coming from years of wasteful litigation and appeals, and the people and communities affected by the opioid crisis need help now. Back to school means it is time to update vaccinations for your kids in elementary and middle school. Our Leah Linscheid and Josh Pryder now with more on back to school vaccines.
New numbers from the state health department show the number of students meeting vaccination requirements continues to drop.
Yeah, more than 5% of kids are now getting exemptions for their back-to-school shots, compared to just 1.5% 10 years ago. While parents have the right to opt out of those vaccines for religious or personal reasons, doctors are still stressing their importance as herd immunity drops. Dr. Janina Smith is an infectious disease specialist with UW Health. As a mom herself, she suggests parents ask their doctors direct questions before they decide to opt out.
I also recommend that people talk to their doctors. Doctors are used to these questions. We understand the evidence. And I think more importantly, when we've taken care of children on the other side who were not vaccinated and who got serious infections because they weren't protected, we're able to give that insight to parents from both sides of the issues.
Now, if you're wondering if your kid is up to date, we have a list of the vaccines the state requires on our website, channel3000.com.
We are getting you ready to go back to school every day on News 3 Now this morning. Tomorrow morning, we'll be talking with our medical expert, Dr. Mandira Mehra, on why you'll want to make sure your kids' backpacks aren't too heavy when they head back to class.
We'll see you from 4:30 to 7.
Now let's get a check on the weather. Meteorologist Dave Caulfield is here. Dave?
Yeah, it was a windy Wednesday across the area, Susan, and that is because of what we call the pressure gradient, which is just the difference in pressure from point A to point B. So the windy weather with us today, cooler weather as well. We have a low pressure system well to the north and a strong high pressure system to the south. And because of that pressure difference, right where we are, right in the middle of that, that caused those gusty westerly winds throughout the day, gusting about 30 to 40 miles per hour across portions of Wisconsin. Really, the entire upper Midwest was pretty blustery on this Wednesday. Visible cloud tracks showing those clouds from that low pressure system to our north. Not going to cause us any rain necessarily from that, but as we head into tomorrow, some rain and thunderstorms possible for southern Wisconsin as a cold front moves through the area by tomorrow afternoon and evening. But we're quiet on Doppler track right now. Some of those storms could be a little bit strong to possibly even severe. We have been upgraded in Madison and points south and east to a slight risk of severe weather. That's level 2 out of 5. The main threats that we're looking at here are going to be some small hail and also some damaging straight line winds and maybe a quick spin up or two, and a locally heavy downpour can't be ruled out either. So we'll keep an eye to the sky tomorrow afternoon. We're thinking closer to about 4 or 5 in the afternoon. That's when that front kind of gets its act together. It really depends on how far north that humidity can travel tomorrow. If we can keep it out of the area, we don't really need to worry about storms or severe storms, but if it travels a little bit farther north than forecast right now, that's when we start that's when we need to start, there we go, keeping an eye to the sky tomorrow. We should be dry as we head into Friday. We saw some pretty choppy waves on Lake Mendota throughout this Wednesday because of that wind. On the Edgewater Skycam, looking a little bit better right now. In Madison, the high today, 73 degrees, so about 5 degrees below normal for this time of year. Typically, we're in the upper 70s. We'll be closer to 80 degrees for highs tomorrow. 75 in Janesville, 70 in Waukesha, down to 71 in Watertown and Juneau, 72 in Monroe, and 73 in Platteville and Mineral Point. Look at these dew points. They are just so comfortable. It really did feel like fall. There was a brisk nature to the air today in the upper 40s and low 50s. That'll get you that air. It really feels very nice outside. A little bit more humidity tomorrow, and again, we're watching to see how far north that humidity can travel as we get into Thursday. Temperatures near 80, but then we're in the 70s for the foreseeable future. The next 7 to 10 days, a lot of time spent in the 70s and either at or slightly below normal for late August and early September. We've been seeing the signs for a week or so now that it looks like the month is going to end on a cooler than normal note, and we don't see any indication of that changing anytime soon. Mostly clear and seasonally cool tonight. Temperatures falling into the lower to middle 50s as we get into tomorrow. Highs right around 80 degrees. Breezy and warmer with the chance of showers and thunderstorms coming through in the late afternoon and early evening hours. So we're pretty quiet overnight on future tracks, starting off with sunshine and temperatures in the 50s. Highs making it close to 80 for tomorrow, and we could see that front set up right across southern Wisconsin tomorrow afternoon. I do think those storms get out of here pretty quickly as that front travels through the area. However, tomorrow afternoon and early evening, we may want to stay weather aware outside because some of those storms could pack a little bit of a punch. Again, gusty winds and some small hail, possibly some locally heavy downpours are really what we're watching out for mostly. Then we are dry on Friday with temperatures back in the mid 70s. 7 to 10 day forecast showing the 70s sticking around for the weekend. Really, this Labor Day weekend is looking very nice. The only exception is Saturday with temperatures a little bit cool and with some rain possible, especially south of Madison. We do dry out for Sunday and Monday, and temperatures back into the 70s for some chances for showers and storms as we get into the middle of next week. Now let's take a look at your first alert traffic update, taking a live look at Rimrock Road and the Beltline. We're seeing some slow go in both directions, nothing too bad. We still are looking at that accident on the Beltline closer to Fish Hatchery Road. That is causing some delays on that eastbound Beltline, and also westbound is slow at points as well. So here are your drive times eastbound University Avenue to the interstate. That'll cost you about a half hour with an average speed of around 30 miles per hour. And some other routes in and around Madison not looking too bad. The Beltline to Janesville, that's 27 minutes with an average speed of around 65 miles per hour. That's your first alert traffic update.
All right, thanks, Dave.
Ahead on News 3 Now at 5, a Texas school finding the perfect formula to improve test scores. We'll tell you how after a short break. A math teacher in Texas decided to use music videos to engage his students.
His effort helped turn around the Leadership Academy at Como Elementary in Fort Worth, Texas. Maria Villarreal has the story.
Get ready for school, because it's everywhere. If you take a good whiff, it's all in the air.
Thomas Mayfield is willing to do just about anything for his students.
And our final estimate will be 47 what?
Mayfield has been teaching math at the Leadership Academy at Como Elementary for a year, a school in a predominantly black neighborhood where the median family income is less than $19,000, and more than 94% of the students are economically disadvantaged.
The reputation they're seen from outside goers would be high crime, low socioeconomic families, single-parent homes. We're going to subtract instead of what?
Before Mayfield came on board, the school was at rock bottom. Attendance was low, disciplinary action high, and their test scores were so bad they'd received an F rating by the state.
If you do not get out of that hole, then yes, the state can decide to come in and take over your school.
So you guys were on the verge.
We were knocking on that door.
Don't stop, keep learning, you got more to prove.
Mayfield calculated by adding students and fellow teachers together in music videos.
Keep dreaming and achieving, let the day be up tomorrow.
He could help kids love what they were learning.
There was a song that we first started out with, Drake had a song. I know way too many numbers here right now that I didn't know back then.
When you bust out like that,
yeah.
What's the reaction you get from the kids?
Hey, mama, he know about Drake,
Trying to be more like Oprah with investments and mansions.
Principal Rhymes also credits adding an extra hour to each school day and offering families more after-school programs to Como's transformation. To sum it up,
we just got the official results this morning. We are officially a B campus again this year.
You and all your friends, when you grow up, what you gonna do?
A school that can say they're starting on a high note. Mireya Villarreal, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Now we'll have another check of the forecast in just a moment. Stay with us.
A little breezy out there tonight.
Yeah, but we are getting better in the wind department as we head into tomorrow. Still maybe a little bit breezy at times as that cold front is coming through. And tomorrow, some of those storms could be strong to severe, so we'll need to keep an eye to the sky. Temperatures near 80 tomorrow. We do dry out for Friday, and Labor Day weekend looking pretty nice overall.
All right, Dave, thanks. We're back in 30 minutes for News 3 Now at 6.